Ladies and gentlemen of the living and the dead, my name is Ariester, and I am your friendly neighborhood Copernicomancer who fears all things horror. Happy Monday! Happy end of Monday! Happy start of a new week! I want lasagna! How's everyone doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Hello, CJ fan. Hi, I hope that the game is going well. Well, we haven't started the game. We don't know what the game is going to be like yet. So, we'll see what happens in it. Look, Brondo, bring out the MS Paint. We're gonna need it. I don't think there's any puzzles in this one. From what I read briefly in the description, this is a prequel visual novel, I think? Oh, I'm frozen. I'm no longer moving. JK, I am moving. I was gonna say. So I think this is just mainly lore. I think this game is mainly lore. But maybe we'll have some questions answered from our last attempt at this, our last playthrough of Violence. Because I think we were confused by some of the things that happened in that game, because we really don't know much about the character. So we can make assumptions, but really there was not a lot of background to a lot of things. So maybe this game will answer some of those questions, and maybe we'll understand the world a little bit better. Understand, from what I read, you know, I know I read sometimes. Fascinating. So it's a short visual novel, should be around 2 hours long, and it's partially voiced. And but it's just gonna be click, and then let's see what we learn today. All right. But maybe we will need MS Pay. Who knows? Just because it's a visual novel doesn't mean there's not going to be any MS Pay involved. Alright, put your name in before. My name is Ari. Oh, we're being authenticated. This is very top secret, y'all. Alright. Make sure. Okay. The sound is okay. Start! Maybe there is puzzles. I don't know. I thought I read that there was no puzzles. Oh, I have to do some reading. Alright. Maybe I shouldn't have had Thai curry for dinner. My throat is all messed up, but that's okay. Over 2 decades ago, Dr. Iris Kai wrote me a recommendation for an up-and-coming international security agency. Oh, the Ari in me is so... In this game is so not me. Imagine me working for an international security agency. At the time, I was overjoyed just to be on track. Huh, sounds like me when I was 18. Getting into a growing field early, do good science while the fires of adventure are still hot, then dip out with distinction before the cold grows cold. Never mind, this was not me at 18. But these days well, let's put it this way. Well, you became disillusioned with the corporate ways. Now you really sound like me. The first time my name showed up as a footnote in a cybernetics textbook, I called my parents and invited my friends to dinner at my favorite restaurant. Oh. It's very exciting. But I don't know the first thing about cybernetics. Half a year ago, when I got a write-up in the East Coast Medicine Review, I didn't even open the copy they sent me. Oh, disillusioned quick. Sounds just like me. So when Iris announced her retirement, I assumed that her ennui was a little more advanced than my own. It was a nice party. She was surrounded by friends and co-workers, lauded by her peers and praised by her subordinates. Airing game. You can talk about the important things. What food was served and what drinks were served. Those are the important stuff. And yet the whole time, she looked hollow. Fear of retirement, I theorized. Oh, she seemed too much. I couldn't have been further from the truth. Stop! The organization I've dedicated my life to has always been at the forefront of cybernetics. The bleeding edge, some may say. Oh. Well. Are they... Nice pun there. We took risks, but it was for the greater good. And we were grateful to every volunteer and veteran that assisted us. But now they're pushing all the wrong boundaries, taking science, my science, in a cruel new direction that I cannot abide. Because the fruits of my research are being used to experiment on children. I can't fathom how STOP got so far out of hand. Capitalism, my dear! But I can find out I'm not powerless and the architects behind these new programs aren't fools. If I could present a proper case against this, show them the pain hidden between the numbers and the suffering they're whitewashing over in pursuit of percentage points, I have hope that things can still be made right. Definitely not me. What an idealist. But that hope is dwindling! Oh, you're learning. I thought I granted peace to our world with my research. Maybe all I did was breathe a new Nero. Speaking of Nero, Nero sounds really cute. Oh, we have a text sent to us outside of working hours. Sorry for messaging you at this hour. Couldn't sleep. Having second thoughts, I would have never responded. No. My transfer's already approved. Next Monday, I'm entering the Youth Training and Development Initiative as a supervisor, but... Oh, I think we're Dr. Danger. But Iris, you've worked with Stop longer than I have. Can you tell me anything else about the YTDI? Nothing that'll help you sleep. Oh, dark. Well, that's reassuring, huh? Still can't believe this is happening. Stop's full of scientists. Good scientists follow the science wherever it leads, right? To be fair, a lot of scientific development is made in a way that, you know, ethically questionable. And I recall a brilliant researcher concluding years ago that the younger the patient, the better the cybernetic sync rate. That research was intended for Stop agents, volunteer heroes if you prefer, not anyone under 18. Cute. Well, the higher ups would beg to differ. They tell you that they're providing these trainees with an education and a guaranteed future. Worth an eye or an ear, right? I don't want this to be my legacy, Iris. Where's the greater good in grafting dangerous tech onto children? When Stop was founded, that good was clear. Back when the world was in turmoil and cybernetics were getting slapped on terrorists and madmen in vet clinics and garages. Stop put an end to that. We put an end to that. And then we kept going so it wouldn't happen again. Like I said, not the best type of conversation if you're looking to put your mind at ease. But do try to get some rest anyway, Deirdre. From the sound of it, you have a long weekend ahead of you. Alright, I'll do my best. May 13th, 27X. Oh. We would not be having cybernetic technology as such in 2070. My honest first impression, this is beautiful. Yeah, I feel like living in a clinic. Natural light trickles through frosted glass, enveloping the courtyard below in a warm, soft glow. From the bridge I'm on, I can even see green. Grass, flowers, trees, and oases of natural beauty full of life, and full of laughing children. I can't help but wonder if I made a wrong turn. There aren't any stark surgical scrubs or hospital gowns. You're telling me this place doesn't look like a hospital right now? Are you for real? For real? Alright. And the air smells clean. That's how you definitely know that things are, unwell. Not disinfected. Sure. But inevitably, my eyes are drawn towards the towering column that pierces the building's center. It's a dark monument, one with few doors, no windows, and a very heavy shadow. My skin prickles. What purpose?
Not lost already, are you?
Huh? My train of thought's grim path is cut short by familiar husky voice.
Angie, it's wonderful to see you again.
Oh, I'm Angie? Oh, no, she's Angie. I keep forgetting. I'm Deirdre. This is Angie. What's up, Angie?
Same to you, Daedra.
As usual, Angie is formal, but I recognize the warmth in her words. It's been a long time since we talked face to face. For sure! I didn't think we'd get to work together again. But not every career path's a straight line, right? Definitely not. Happiest I am to be working with you. I was surprised to learn that you wanted to transfer here. I always thought of you as married to the crowd of cybernetics and nothing else. I was gonna say squeamish. True. Suppose there's more to me than meets the eye. I'm a transformer, just so you know, Angie. Suppose there is. I understand you're planning to write a case study on the work we're doing here at the YTDI. Funny. You'll always be more interested in theory than application. Then again, you'll always be a pioneer as well. It's a new program based on my research. Why wouldn't I observe it? And I think it's fantastic having you of all people here. Going out of your way to help us improve the YTDI, that's a dream come true for all of us. In fact, no, I don't want to get too deep into discussion on the first day. Your time is valuable, so. How about I give you a tour? Absolutely. There's a lot there, more than we could cover in one day. We should be able to go over the basics. Places, permissions, practice standards, that sort of thing. And who better to help you find your footing than an old colleague? Alright, where are we going? Not a professional tour guide, but I said the courtyard would be the best place to start. Alright, here we go. This is where the lore is. Why there's what? So that's why there's so much greenery? Wait, what? We want our trainees to be as healthy as possible, both physically and mentally. And while it might be hard to see the benefits on an MRI, being around trees and plants really does do wonders for the brain. I think I feel it myself. We installed it for all the trainees' sake, but if it helps the staff stay sane as well, that's a nice bonus. You see the classrooms too. So we'll take these stairs and go through these doors. We go down this hallway. What's down the hallway? Wow. This does not look like a sterile hospital at all. We're here. Must be easy to get lost. Suppose you get used to it. Anyways, this is where the trainees get educated. Got all the core essentials. Math, literacy, self-defense, and physical education. Physical education. Self-defense? Don't make that face. It's not that serious. Gym mats and padded gloves and whatnot. At their age, the trainees gonna hurt each other if they tried. And do they ever try to hurt each other? Wow, you're not very smooth. The world's a dangerous place. Our trainees know that better than most their age. The earlier we teach them how to protect themselves, the better off they'll be. It's not all schoolworks and drills. The trainees get to do fun stuff too. We passed an arts and crafts center just a moment ago. Did you see some of the stuff they make in there? We might have the next Mark Rothko or Agnes Martin on our hands. I don't know who any of those people are. I feel like someone's gonna be very mad at me for not knowing who they are. I nod as if I know who those people are. I don't know who they are. Fine arts never was a favorite subject of mine. I only know classical artists. Like Michelangelo. Well, I have to check it out another time. I've learned not a lot so far, but we'll keep going. Want to observe a trainee for your case study, correct? That's right. Why do you ask? We've got a class going on right now. It should be literacy at this time of day. Oh, you're suggesting I choose my case study subjects right now? Could give you a much better idea of what we do, seeing how the trainees actually go about their day. Alright, let's take a look at this classroom. Writing exercises. Oh, let me do some writing exercises. I love writing exercises. May I do some writing exercises, ma'am? Oh. This is the classroom. Why the emphasis on classroom? Is this not what classrooms look like? And being medical libraries and more noise. What? Are they doing writing exercises right now? Well behaved, aren't they? You can thank the core curriculum designers for that. Our trainees are showing a 34% increase in memory retention compared to the same age control group, short and long term. Huh? Bell could ring right now and they'd still be glued to their work. If this were any other education program, they'd all be fiddling with their fine liners, glaring at the clock, doodling the margins. Like that child over there? That one. He's a bit of an outlier statistically. Okay. You're not gonna show me what they look like? Oh no, we're going with no one left behind. What they'll need is a little extra motivation. Let me tell you what happened with no one left behind. Apparently, the kid who is not cooperating is taken to the front of the classroom. He's being yelled at. The teacher might be raising their voice. Why are the other children going up with him? They didn't do anything wrong. That's the extra motivation I was talking about. All new trainees get sorted into squadrons. Like soldiers? Are they not dressed like soldiers? They're dressed like little Boy Scouts, bro! Hey, So Wave! We're getting lore right now for the game that we played last week. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm just going with the flow. Like birds, I say they're close-knit. We expect each squadron to fly at roughly the same pace. If one member underperforms, the entire group is made aware of. I know it looks a little inflexible, but they're better off learning these rules early. Pros and cons, pros and cons. Okay. He smiled at me. Okay. They're supposed to stand perfectly still for a full 5 minutes, so might have to refocus. I made my decision. She wants the one that smiled. Of course she did. Why him specifically? Angie, what do you think? What kind of story is this? Can't give a concrete answer. Not sus at all, Deirdre. Not sus at all. Suppose I'm going by gut. Alright. It's not very scientific. Exactly. Why don't we call it an intuitive choice made by one of the world's greatest leading cybernetics researchers? Wait. Angie, please tell me you're not falling for this! Okay, she's not falling for it. She's not falling for it. Thank God. I was gonna say. You're disappointed in your IQ if you did. I miss Emma's Paint. Good times as a kid. I think it's not called Emma's Paint anymore, but there's still Paint. It's the same thing, I think. As far as I can tell. But as I said, the particular training is something of a statistical outlier. What's that type of story, Angie? Then taking a closer look at him should help us correct any inefficiencies in the program, no? I feel like this story is written by someone who has a very idealistic view of life. And it's not really vibing with me.
All right, D.
Sup, Angie?
Here's where his quarters are.
Nice!
You're certain this is the one you want to use for your case study?
It's that kind of story, Angie. Of course it's the one she wants. Yeah, she's made her decision. Don't argue.
Right. Right. Just wanted to confirm.
Most likely.
Training C0458?
Could you come here, please? Child? Yeah, Angie wants to introduce you to someone. Just for you.
A visitor?
Try to be quick. She's a very busy lady with a lot to get done today. Oh, you talk about me? Hi. Wait a minute, what? Will they have in class? Yes. Okay. And there she is. What's S Force 174 doing behind you? She wanted to come, so I let her. Okay. What a good friend you are. This meeting's just for you. Is it that big of a deal, Angie? Yeah, I didn't ask for her, Deirdre! I didn't ask for her! Why is she here? What the hell? Is she okay? No offense to the person who wrote this story. I get where you're going with this. But even in a regular school, if you ask for one child and the child's like, my best friend can come too, right? The answer is no. I didn't ask for them. What? Like what? When you grow up to be an adult, your boss is like, hey, Ari, I need you to come to the office. I can't be like, oh, sorry, my colleague Susan is scared by herself to sit there by herself, so can she come with me? What? Yes, it's that big of a big deal, Deirdre. Why do you didn't ask for the other girl? Why is she here? Oh, this story and I are not going to agree. Can already feel it. Is my Boy Scout cookies? Boy Scouts don't have cookies. Don't only Girl Scout have cookies? I don't think there's any harm. No. What? Deirdre, what? I would not have been okay with this, by the way. I asked for one person only. You don't get to decide who you bring to my meeting, child! I don't think Deirdre and I are gonna be friends. Why didn't you introduce it up to the lady?
Well, allow me.
No, not this dramatic. I just want you to know. I just want to know your name. I don't need it. I don't need your personality involved. Yeah, keep it short. I agree, Angie. Don't play cute with me.
Nice to meet ya. I'm Pavel.
Hey, Pavel.
Though most of the people here only call me CO4.
I don't need that information. I already know you're a CO458. I have excellent memory. My God, Deirdre's kind of annoying, isn't she? Did she forget that this is a scientific facility? Deirdre, for someone who's trying to find out stuff and an unbiased observer so you can release information to the world, you're not very good at this. Plus the first class like 3 Emmas and 4 Quins. You know what? I get you. I get you, Angie. I get you, Angie. There was like 8 people named Ari in my class in high school. Like in my year level in high school. You don't get to ask me for my name. Why does it matter to you what my name is? Never worked with children before? Trainees like to call me Dr. Angie. Yeah, I'm Dr. Deirdre if you want. Stop repeating my name. Is anyone, are you hitting on me now, child? Has anyone ever told you that's a nice name? What? You know, if the game is trying to make me like this child, it's not working. I mean, my Boy Scout sells popcorn, they sell popcorn. Yeah, I don't think Boy Scouts sell cookies. I think cookies is a Girl Scout only thing. I know Boy Scouts sells like under random stuff. I'm pretty sure I want to say that Girl Scout, you know, cookies Scout cookies a Girl Scout thing. I mean, that's what they're famous for anyway. Don't compliment me on my name. I'm here to do scientific research, sir. Child. What? What do you want? Person who invited herself along wants me to know their name.
Hello.
Hi. Keep it short. Okay.
Shreya.
Nice to meet you, Shreya. Why am I waving at her? I feel like I'm not the kind of person who would appreciate storylines like this. Like, these two children are, like, really annoying me. I'm supposed to feel... I know I'm supposed to, like, feel, like, bad for them for whatever's going through... whatever they're gonna go through, but... I like children who are well-behaved and, doesn't bother me. Did I ask you any of these questions? I mean, I really do not care that you guys are like BFFs or whatever. Okay, that's great. I'm glad you guys stick together. Did I ask you this question? No. My God. Are you too close? Deirdre! What kind of stupid question is that? Yeah, I mean, whatever. They're besties. Never go anywhere without each other. Huh. Good luck in the real world. Wish you weren't in different squads. I wonder why you guys are different squads. Oh, thank God, Angie, you're here. Yeah, I would like to not be in this situation any longer. Yeah, I would love to go to research lab. I don't want to be here anymore. Yeah, it's nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm gonna be interviewing you, okay? Yes! If you paid attention in class, you would know what interview means. Wow, Deirdre just came in here like half-baked. I haven't quite decided yet. No wonder you were such a bad supervillain! Think I'd like to talk about your hobbies? What makes you think they have hobbies here? Huh? Alright. Why you? I don't know! I don't know, Pavel! I wish she didn't pick you! But she did! Oh my God. Uh-huh. Cute. You don't even know how to say the word specifically. Maybe you should be paying attention in class instead of doodling your margins. Okay, whatever. I'm like a dandelion in a field full of roses. Child, that's an insult. There's nothing wrong with dandelions, but I'm pretty sure that they're saying that as an insult. No! Stop asking questions! No, I don't want your friend. What do kids do these days? I haven't been around. I don't know, Deirdre! You're the one that came up with this idea! Back to playing, they're obviously going to class.
Sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I do not wish to play as
It's a
Deirdre.
deal.
Well, I'm not making a deal with you, kid. I don't make promises I can't keep. Bro! Deirdre, you're really bad at this. Coming in here with no plan? You don't even know what you want to do?
Sorry if I rushed you a bit back there.
No wonder you were so bad at being a supervillain, because what was that? No, Angie, thank you for rushing. If I'd be there for another 5 minutes, I would have been freaked out. The kid reminds me of Pitch from Voltron. I don't think I've seen Voltron. It's a cartoon, right? I realized I might come across as grouchy earlier. No, I feel like you came out as a perfectly reasonable scientific researcher. Been working a lot of hours lately. Where is on you, you know? No, Daedre's one of the most inefficient person I've ever met. When you were taking lead on artificial spleen developments, it was like you were in a trance. Alright, I do know my pop culture. Voltron's a cartoon. Those were long days. Oh, I can definitely tell you're much better suited for that than this. Whatever this is. By the time we push through, I never want to see another culture sample as long as I lived. About those research labs. Can we go see them now? Thanks. Case study report. 513-27X. Initial supervisory report. Oh, I would have never hired you as a supervisor. You go away. I'm trying to get through this visual novel here. Though it has been advertised as a youth education program, it is now my understanding that the purpose of the YTDI is to prepare this training for cybernetic enhancement and eventually employment within stock. While it is known that biotech synchronization rates are inversely correlated to age, the side effects on individuals below the age of 18 are not fully understood at this time and may be more severe than they would be on an adult mind and body. Furthermore, I have ethical concerns about the purpose of the program and how its participants are selected. As supervisor, it is my intent to observe the YTDI's operation and ensure that the health and well-being of its trainees are properly upheld. Sorry. Deirdre, Angie's right. You're far better at theory than application. As part of my duties, I intend on engaging in a focused case study of training CO458 to observe its development under the YTDI's curriculum. For compliance purposes, our one-on-one conversations will be recorded. I get what they're going with this, but for her purpose, it would be better if she was studying someone who was actually affected by the program, not someone who retained their individuality. Anyway, it's time for us to investigate Deirdre's desk. Once Deirdre's case study is finished, she'll send these documents to stop higher up. She hopes reflecting will shut the YTDI down. Who does she think approved these programs? What? I'm sorry, I know it's rude to laugh, but really? This report marks the 1-month point of training CO458's case study. This time, I have observed several facets of the YTDI's operation and now believe that I have a firm grasp of the day-to-day activities of the trainees. The majority of trainees selected for the YTDI comes from orphanages. Bro! Deirdre, seriously, you think the higher-up's gonna shut the program down? You think they don't know what risks are involved? It would be better off sending all of this to, like, I don't know, CNN or something. God. My pet peeve is smart people who are incredibly stupid. Upon arrival at the YTDI, trainees are separated into squads similar to the ones utilized by stop field agents. And that's not just a bad thing. There are military schools. Time of death, 3:30 a.m. Formal education takes place entirely within these squads and involves tuition in literacy, mathematics, self-defense, etc. Outside of the classroom, trainees have access to several extracurricular activities, including craft, work, sports, and video games. While these activities are beneficial for fostering bonds and growth between children, I find it notable that they overlap with activities undertaken by stop operatives in this recovery period after the implementation of new cybernetics. This includes sewing for hand-eye coordination, video games for reaction speed, etc. Oh, they get to play video games?! Damn! They're living much better life than I thought they would be living. The standard of care appears to be at least sufficient. CO 458 has expressed that it is a significant improvement over his previous lodgings. Still, I have some questions to raise with Dr. Tan later. For someone who's trying to gather evidence, you're not very good at, you know, staying under the radar. Like many academics, Deidre has thoughts about herself and the world around her. This is where she writes them. June 6, 27X. Part of me just wants my thoughts to blow with the wind. Putting them to paper will have to do for now. Besides, all the blue light was making my eyes ache. The trainees are all orphans. I'm not surprised. But I am surprised that the YTDI isn't much different from a standard boarding school, militaristic dressing aside. Compared to how Stop's first few batches of field agents were housed, the accommodations here are downright luxurious. Still, that's comparing volunteer soldiers to abandoned children. A strange analogy, to put it mildly. For some reason, the trainees' meals consist of lab script, and only lab script. What's lab script? It's true that lab script contains all the nutrients they need to grow healthy and strong, but it's intended for typical in vivo test subjects. Seeing the size of budget that Stop works for it, they can definitely afford to feed these children real food. Do they need to? At least the education is world class! Clearly, Stop spending was put to good use here. One time, Angie took me to a literacy lesson. Out of the blue, she asked a trainee to recite part of King Lear, and the girl belted it out like it was on a switch. I don't know how useful that skill was, but it was definitely impressive. Excuse me, Deirdre, do not look down on the arts of theater. Another time, the two of us watched as a teacher taught a squadron field pharmacy in the courtyard. Someone eats this mushroom, how would you counteract its effects with only the items in your bags? How long did they have before their airway closed? It was tense to say the least. At times, the teacher's questions felt more like threats. But the building itself is immaculate. Practically sparkling. If my shoes track dirt as I walk in, it's wiped away by the time I walk out. Even Stop headquarters doesn't agonize over cleanliness to the extent. I mean, this is a scientific research facility, ma'am. I just wish they showed that much care for the training themselves. What? You're acting like they're, like, in concentration camps. Being tortured. And, like, not being fed. Like, sleeping on floors. Like that boy CO45A. For formal reasons I can't mention in a recording session, but I know his name is Fabel. Was taking his name necessary? Alright, ma'am. Are they that concerned about observer bias? This is a scientific research lab, ma'am! He's an orphan. His name might be the only thing his parents ever gave to him. You know, I don't know why you're so pressed. Just because no one calls him that doesn't mean he doesn't know that's his name. And the trainees call each other their names. Why I scrubbed away like something dirty I was saying to be removed? What did they say that they can't call each other their names? He and his bestie were calling each other names. Alright. I feel like Deirdre is a little self-righteous. Boy's lonely too. Yes, he is straight up, but she's in part of his squadron, his pre-assigned social group. Damn, welcome to real life. Squad mates exclude him outside of class. Yeah, because he gets them into trouble. I would be mad at him too. They don't let him play with them. So, yeah, why would I? CO458 is often in the arts and crafts center sewing or knitting by himself. Listen. I don't care if my teammates are a little weird. They have weird hobbies, but don't get me into trouble. Like, pay attention in class. It's the least you can do. At least pretend to pay attention so I don't get in trouble. It's not much better in class. Yeah, because he doesn't do the work and gets them into trouble. Kids roll their eyes when he's paired up with them for group tests because he gets them into trouble. Sometimes they'll go behind his back and ask the teacher if they can swap for anyone else. Deirdre? I once asked to do a group assignment solely by myself, and I got better grades than anyone else in this class. I can 100% understand why no one wants to be teamed up with him. Thankfully, the teachers never concede to CO458 squad mates, but they haven't stopped them from asking anyway. Of course not. Yeah, I feel like this is written by someone who doesn't really know how to read the room and isn't willing to put others at the same level as theirs, and is expecting other people to conform to, you know, be okay with them not doing the bare minimum. Oh yes, King Lear was my favorite Shakespeare play. It's pretty sad. That's all I remember from it. I think a lot of this could be solved if the kids weren't pitted against one another. What do you mean? He doesn't pay attention in class and gets his teammates into trouble. Sounds like a him issue and not everyone else's issue. I feel like this story is not written for someone like me. I don't really feel sorry for this kid. All the trainees have their hobbies, but CO458 doesn't have much else. Skill issue. I know he likes superheroes, so I'll bring him some comics from YTDI's library. No, and stop. I suspect the books there are vetted, but there's still a chance I might find something that'll make him smile. He could draw his own superhero comics. Maybe I can use it to teach him. Yeah, teach him to be a team player! Jesus. Certainly doesn't seem like any of his actual teachers are interested in personalizing the learning experience. Listen, welcome to the real world. God. I also bought a pack of stickers for him. Great way to single him out, Deirdre. Now everyone's gonna be mad because he's the only one that got stickers. Children his age think grape stickers are cool. I don't think Deirdre's very suited for this. I think she's gonna be the reason that he's like, he's like isolated even more. He's gonna be the only kid with stickers. He's gonna make everyone else jealous of him. Well, my dear, I don't know, Deirdre. You're very bad at this. I'm no child psychologist. I can tell. Couldn't even qualify as a pediatrician. No kidding. I really jumped in deep end with this case study tonight. Yeah. You know, I don't want to talk about children. I think you're pretty bad at dealing with people in general. Because you're gonna make him become even more isolated from his teammates by making him special. Deirdre, please. No wonder you're such a bad supervillain. Next to Midsummer Night's Dream and Tempest. Old Shakespeare stuff. Some of them are good though. If I weren't senior staff, I'd probably be sacked by now. Oh. No. You realize also that you're very bad at this? Maybe grape is lame. You shouldn't just only give him stickers. You should give everyone stickers. Maybe orange is the way to go. Oh my god. You don't know anymore. I can tell! I want you to find out. I hate... I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I get it. Basic ethically taking advantage of children who have nowhere else to go and implanting cybernetics them is bad ethically. Absolutely, I agree. But like, I don't really feel like I should feel bad for the one that refuses to help his teammate out by doing the bare minimum. Hello, Muto. What's up? Let's look at Deirdre's computer. Interview with CO458. June 12th, 27X. I also don't really like children all that much. I only like them when they're well behaved.
All right, CO458.
So-
I started recording.
I was a very well behaved child. And I wasn't like, you know, my parents never were like violent with me or anything. I had a loving family, and I was well behaved.
Before you fall over from all that wiggling.
Yay!
I want to slap him. I think the wiggling's supposed to be cute, but it's not. Sit still. Why are you excited? Yeah, you can relax. Can you stop wiggling? I hate it when people can't stay still in their seats. No, we're just talking today. I don't know. Are we really? My cheeks are numb from all that grinning. Why are you pretending to smile? I think I did the same thing in my school photos. Huh? Is there a rule that you have to smile in photos? Anyway, I stopped because it made me look, what? Like a dork. Wow, you noticed, huh? You realize how they look like a dork when you smile? I'm sorry, did you just insult me, kid? Did you just insult me? Did you just poke your tongue out at me, kid? Oh. This kid was in my class, I'd kick him out. Have you ever been called something like that before? A dork? Never? So why is it okay for you to call someone else that? Maybe a few times? Yeah, you think it's okay to use that language to someone else? But the other kids don't know anything, so it's their loss. Wow, no wonder you have only one friend. What don't they know? When I grow up, I'm gonna be super famous and super pretty. I'm gonna have 1 billion friends. Alright. Wait till you get a high school kid. I feel like I'm supposed to feel sorry for this kid, but I kinda just want to punch him. Deirdre, don't cross your fingers for him. He's obviously not going to be... With the way he talks, you know, about other people, I don't think he's going to get very far in life. Anyway, we're starting to veer off topic, and I only have so much time, so... Deirdre's gonna ask you a question. Yeah, 3 questions. Huh? First question, how did you come to join the YTDI? Where you became a trainee, where did you live? I lived in an orphanage. Shocking. And what was that like? I remember much, but it was pretty lonely. There weren't many others there. There was a whole bunch of us, but we shared rooms and beds, and the adults' attention. So you weren't treated as an individual. Deirdre, have you ever been to an orphanage? Do you know how underfunded those places are? A lot of us ran around, it was pretty noisy. I was always bored. Skill issue. When it wasn't mealtime, school time, or chore time, I was stuck in the common room with most of the others. Because we had to share so much, we fought all the time. Now, one time I wanted to play with the Scrattle board, but another girl said I couldn't have it, because all I did was trace the board with my fingers. I said to her, no, that's how you play Scrattle. And then she said, you're always doing stuff wrong. Did you read the instructions? Because I'm pretty sure that's not how you play Scrattle. I made a face at her. Then she pulled my hair. Yeah, I would have done so too. Am I supposed to feel sorry for this game? You scratched her and she started crying, okay? So I got punished. Yes! Yes, that's what happens when you hurt other people. You get punished. Found the rule book later. She was right. Yes, she was right. I was playing the game wrong. Yes. Yes, maybe you should have consulted the rule book before you fought her. You said sorry, but what? But the way I play was fun too. Okay, then do it when other people aren't using the Scrabble board. What? I feel like I'm supposed to feel bad for the kid, but I don't. And maybe that's, you know... Maybe that's, you know, that says something about me, but I don't really understand. Like, no one's saying the way you were playing is fun too, but you realize if you... all you did was trace the board, then no one else could play the board. The point of Scrattle, I'm assuming Scrattle is like a euphemism for Scrabble. The point of Scrabble is you play it with other people. If you're only gonna sit there and trace the grid with your fingers, then no one else gets the opportunity to play. I'm not saying how you're playing it was quote unquote a bad thing, but maybe you should consider other people. And maybe ask if you can have the Scrattle board afterwards so you could play your way. I don't know, I have very little patience for children. How are you picked for the YTTI? You seem different from the other trainees. At least compared to the others in your squadron. He doesn't know. One day, these people in white clothes came to the orphanage. They didn't want to play or talk anything, they just watched us for a week. And this loud person told me and a bunch of other kids that we had a bright future ahead of us. And they brought us here. Okay. Can't you just look all of this up? Why do I have to interview this person for it? Are you telling me this organization obsessed with data and like scientific research doesn't have records of all of this? And you have to get it from a source who may not remember facts correctly. Fell asleep on the bus because I couldn't sleep the night before. When we got here, it wasn't even lunchtime. Move on to the next question. Remind me, you never had just a babysitter. Just joking. I was a babysitter when I was in high school. I was really good too. But the kid I babysat was really well behaved. You getting along with your squadron? Why do you ask questions when you don't know the answer? We're all supposed to get along with our squadron. I guess that lines up with what Angie told me. But it's okay, you can be honest with me. Most of my squad mates are boring apple polishers. No wonder they don't like you. They hate me just because the teacher get mad at me and make us stay in class for an extra 10 minutes? Excuse me! You say that like it's not your fault? No wonder you're squad. If I was your teammate, I wouldn't like you either. trouble? Am I supposed to feel bad for this kid? It's not my fault class is Can you at least pretend? Maybe just because I don't think class is fun, but I pay attention anyway because, you know, I don't want to get my teammates in trouble. So all my doodles are bothering anyone. Class is enough for doodling. No wonder your squad mates don't like you. Rightfully so. I wouldn't like you either if you were my squad mate. Sorry, I'm going to put in a different squad from everyone else I knew. I wonder why. Squad sorting must be done randomly. Trying to avoid pre-established social grouping. My God. Sorry, I just had to draw something. You're telling me none of this is already recorded somewhere. Alright, sure. What about your roommate? What do you think of her? Shri, yes, her. She's really quiet most of the time, but once you get to know her, she's really smart and kind. Most importantly, she's my best friend. Alright. She's also my first friend. Shocking. Guess my only one. Shocking! I'm so shocked that someone who never considered other people's feelings only has one friend. Class is done, we talk about whatever we want and do things together. She teaches me all kinds of stuff. A few weeks ago, she taught me how to do my hair. Okay. Uh-huh. Anything else you do together? I know this whole sequence is like character building, but it's a little slow. You read together, okay? The Shreya is way better than me at it. Probably because you pay attention in class! You'd be able to read it too if you pay attention in class like everybody else! I heard the teacher say she was 2 reading levels ahead of the rest of her squad. Yeah, because she's not doodling in class and getting her squad mates into trouble. She's so cool. Okay. Cute. Brings me to my third and final question. When Shreya is not around, what do you like to do in your spare time? Sewing and knitting. When it's break time, I go to the arts and crafts room and make stuff. Okay. Alright. I feel like this is a lot of character building for very minimal effect to the story, but let's just keep going. Maybe some people like this kind of stuff. I'm not one of them. Huh? I like reading comics. I'm not about to get into an argument whether or not comics is considered literature. Comics is more art than literature. It's a lot less work than Shreya's books, but they're filled with pictures. I wish my art was that cool. Alright. Alright, this makes perfect. I know. Cute. That's why I doodle in class. Maybe you shouldn't doodle in class. Maybe you should be doodling in your spare time. Anything else you enjoy doing? Class and homework's always in the way. Welcome to reality, kid. I'm too jaded for this. I'm too jaded to think this is cute. Uh-huh. Blah, blah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh my god. I know there are people who think this is really cute, but stop talking to me! My god, I've run out of patience for this. That was a lot of talking for very, very little information. Alright, sometimes Deirdre needs Iris to lend her an ear, as Deirdre's former supervisor, what advice can Iris give her? The craft center was nice. I mean, that's gotta be a good sign, right? A good sign, a good thing at different matters. Help isn't what you're texting me for, is it? Besides, I'm a lot more concerned about the militaristic conditions you reported. That can change. My god. Yet every time you critique some part of the YTDI, Dr. Ten seems to resist. And he's always been pretty rigid. Or maybe you're not understanding the program. He's not a bad person. Is that how you help yourself sleep at night? Dr. Ten's associate director. She's been around for so long that she writes the book. No one's forcing her to stay where she is. Could have easily been her shoes, Iris. Not with her scruples. I worked directly with Tim, but I know her reputation. Deirdre, with the concerns you have about the program, you would have never become assistant director. No director would hire you. He's got a savior complex. That's dangerous. And Dr. Danger does it? And Deirdre does it? She's even worse. She goes into these things without a plan. He knows it's all gonna be a giant puzzle at the end. Trust? Oh, I did not. I understand where they're going with the story, but like... I'm not saying everyone has to conform. There's a line between keeping your individuality and conforming with society. Expecting other people to conform to you is a matter entirely different from keeping your individuality. She just wants to help people. Sure, she believes that, but she works in cybernetics, and when you're holding a hammer, everything looks like a nail. I haven't seen her with the trainees. Every time we pass by Grim, she smiles and waves, asking how they're doing. And they give her the biggest, sweetest smiles back. They don't do that to any of the other researchers. You're one of the brightest person I know, maybe the best of your generation, so why are you looking away from the truth? Iris, you and I both know that Deirdre's not cut out for this. You've seen the lab script, the classrooms, the wait, I don't even know that word. You know, O10, your trust. Or anyone at Stop for that matter. They've given their stamp of approval all of this and it smells rotten. Exactly. Iris spitting facts here. We can heal that rot. Good luck. Just want to have faith in the colleagues and friends I've worked with for years. Deirdre, please. You're a full-ass adult woman. Speaking like you're still 16 in high school. I'm positive things will get better. Good luck with that. Even a genius can't change the mind of someone who's not listening. Damn. I wish I could be Iris. That's why the case that needs to go on, I will make them all listen. Yeah, how'd that work out for you? Bought him a Gravesend sticker the other day. He loved it. Sounds like it's all rosy over there. Oh my god. Iris is the best thing about this game so far. Because quite frankly, Deirdre is kind of dumb for a genius. Anyway, it's June 13th now. I'm too jaded for this. I'm an elderly, jaded woman. From the bridge, I gaze below at the courtyard. As the sun begins to set, it's being softly tint the YTDI's walls and floors a pale orange. It's comforting. Even the back of the pillow in the center of the room looks warmer than usual. Are you colorblind, Deirdre? I never thought I'd see the YTTI that way. It's worlds apart from my first impression of it 1 month ago. 30 days of observing classes, conducting interviews, and writing notes, and they felt like seconds. I wonder if it's my age. The older I've grown, the quicker time passes. Summer, fall, winter, spring. All of it passing by while I'm musing over my impending mortality won't get me anywhere. But the YTTI really does look warm right now. If it weren't the other people in the building, I'd go down to the grass floor and take a nap. I'd go down to the ground floor and take a nap in the grass. Right now, I'm sure some of the trainees are doing the same. Children shouldn't have cybernetics or lab script diets. The YTDI is an affront to my research. Yeah, you think you can change that? Any sane person would agree with me. So I'm doing everything I can to shut it down behind the backs of the people who run this program. You're not doing a very good job! But I can't object to giving unwanted children a home. An education, a guaranteed future. They don't have to hunt for scraps or wake up each morning and search for shelters over their heads. Okay. As long as they hear... I'm sorry, so you want the organization to take care of these children for free? Good luck with that. Hey, Angie. Interrupt something? Yes. Yes, you came just in time to interrupt Deirdre's, like, extremely idealistic hope for the world. Like, pretty contemplative? Yeah. She thinks a lot for someone who's not very smart. About, like, life stuff. I'm sure she's smart in cybernetics, but she's pretty bad with people. What can I do for you? It's nothing work-related. Not like I have trainings info to give you anyways. I just wanted a chance to catch up. Been here for, what, a month now? Look at that. 1 month exactly. Lucky guess. Want to take a stroll? They say walking and talking gets the blood flowing. More than standing here and staring at nothing. Alright, let's go. This is why I can't play pure visual novels, guys. It makes me very... It makes me more critical than I usually am because I have nothing else to do. We begin to walk around the bridge's perimeter. Our pace is slow, aimless, lazy even. And our conversation is just as meandering. See any films lately? Any takeout places you'd recommend? I know modern art's not your thing, but I think you enjoyed this new exhibit. And if you don't, you can pick where we have dinner next time. As we chat, my whole body relaxes. It was like this in the beginning, waiting outside of Stop's headquarters, excited to take Angie out for our pre-weekend burgers and milkshakes. Deirdre. Row number one! Row number one of working for a corporation. They're your colleagues, not your friends. Don't treat them like they're your college roommates. When we were young, the world didn't make sense, but our work always did.
Hey, D. D?
What? Here, Angie calling my name. My mind snaps back into focus. Oh, you're just so bad at this.
No. Nothing.
I was wondering if you were ready to bring up what was going on earlier. That. No pressure if you're not up to it. I just need a moment. Take a deep breath to think about how to approach this. You're just about to ask Angie a question. As a friend. Oh, this is gonna go well. Ari, we're not a team at Stout, we're a family. Biggest lie I've ever been fed. All the times I work for any corporation. I've worked for startups. I've worked for small businesses. I worked for multi-million-dollar corporations. And they're all the same at the end of the day. Some are better than others. But never believe the we're a family crap. Why did you end up working for the YTDI? It's a big question. One that's been on my mind a lot lately. You should have been interviewing Angie this whole time. So that classified file. You saw that classified file, yeah? What classified file? A disgruntled employee blew up at us a few months back. Swiped a bunch of files taken out of context and tried to shout them out to anyone who will listen. There's this around when you were first curious about the YTDI, right? People asked if I knew about it. Of course, at the time I didn't have the full picture. You know those animal rights groups? The one with the ridiculous PR teams? They demonize undergrads for dissecting rats. Blast the web with oversaturated gory photos, sensationalized blog posts, social media campaigns. Still works. Cherry-pick their information to make a normal scientist look vile and make themselves look heroic. But those lab researchers care for those animals like they were their own pets. There's piles of paperwork, elaborate onboarding procedures, frequent inspections on their welfare. Even on a practical level, they discourage their suffering. But we're different with the good snacks in the break room. Listen, I'll take the good snacks. I still don't believe your family. Be friendly with your coworkers, but your coworkers are not your friends. There aren't any rats at this facility, Angie. Deirdre. What makes a human life worth more than a rat's? That's simply a bias you have as a human being. Just want to make an analogy. You know, people are exaggerating things and all that. I'm against human testing, by the way. Of any kind. Because there's always some sort of because we don't treat all people the same. There's a sort of classist implication there, so I don't agree with it. But I'm also kind of sort of against animal testing, unless it's absolutely necessary. But I also have doubts about people who think human life is worth much more than a animal's life. Because if I ever have a dog, if anyone tried to kill my dog, bro, the other person, you would never find their body. Okay, tell me about why you joined the YTDI. Went off topic, didn't we? Everyone has the right to a bright future. Most of these trainees don't come from pleasant backgrounds. All of them are orphans. Many of them live in places that couldn't even feed them once a day. So if Stop hadn't intervened, their futures would have been... That's why I think the YTDIs have potential, you know? Provides its trainees with housing, a community, a secure life. By giving them a secure life, the YTDI will prevent future crimes. So in the long term, the YTDI contributes to Stop's raison d'etre. Exactly. In the short term, we're changing these trainees' lives for the better. Still, seeing children receive cybernetic enhancements, it just doesn't sit right with me. I mean, I get what you're saying, teacher, and I agree with you, but the money-making organization isn't gonna take in kids for free. Sorry, Kate called the flu a couple of days ago. It's time for you to get chromed up. Don't make the player hate the game. You don't want to be remembered as the mother of cyber children, do you? We don't have anything here for fickle reasons. Subjects are only ever cybernetically enhanced if we feel their quality of life could be improved. Every one of those children was physically disabled. Trainee 02145, I remember. Anophthalmia. Her poor vision caused her to struggle in class, so we gave her a new eye. Now her essays are on par with some of the top students in her squadron. Some of these trainees come here with congenital defects, others with injuries from horrible accidents. We've only ever used cybernetics to level the playing field between them and their able squad mates. My shoulders feel lighter. My brow unfurrows. These are so easy. I'm relieved to hear that. I'm relieved to know that my legacy hasn't been completely tarnished. Angie's much better at this than Deirdre is.
I want you to know if you have any concerns, you can always come and talk to me. Or just vent, if it's after hours.
Rule number 1, never vent to... Rule number 2, never vent to your coworkers. Can always be used against you later.
Yeah, we're practically kids again.
Want to come to the arts and crafts room? Most of them are in their rooms right now. It's just to decompress. Alright. Deirdre is so easy. Not a single red flag raised in that conversation at all. August 13th, 27X. Alright, here we go. Case study report. Eight for 27X. Regular conversation with CO45 have continued. Contrary to what I witnessed while observing his classroom, CO45 had been inquisitive and willing to cooperate with my study in our one-on-one interactions. It is my firm belief that CO45A's intelligence is not below the norm. Rather, the teaching methods used by the YTT are insufficient to engage him. What his instructors have labeled as acting out appears to instead merely be an expression of boredom! Right, and no one else is bored in that class. Only him. And only him. Considering the number of children the YTTI has under its roof, I do not believe that CO45A is the only trainee having difficulty with their assignments. I have noted that his squad's instructors rarely encourage creative solutions to exercise and instead prefer completion tasks to a set rubric. Standards-based teaching methods often produce results that look good on spreadsheet, but they rarely result in significant information retention or well-developed critical thinking skills. I feel so attacked right now, Deirdre. I feel so attacked right now. Because I have standard-based teaching. And I have excellent information retention and excellent critical thinking skills. On top of this, children with learning disorders are often left behind. So maybe the issue isn't necessarily the standards-based teaching. It's the fact that we need to add something on top of it. I'm not saying Deirdre's completely wrong. But I also think she's a little too idealistic. What worries me is that CO458's anti-summon result in his entire classmate being punished for his actions. Yes, because that's real life! The intent behind the measures to emphasize that the squad is a unit, a failure in one's members reflect on them all. Yes! Because that's real life, Deirdre! Perhaps his successful in other squads, but in CO458's case, all they seem to have managed to do is other him from his peers. Yes, because this is what's going to happen in real life, Deirdre. She's not very people smart, is she? August 12, 27X. I wasn't prepared for the number of trainees who are happy to be at the YTTI. The number of trainees who are overjoyed is because they had clean clothes and sheets. Yes. And money doesn't necessarily buy quality, but stop really isn't cheapening out on their school and board. They're practically throwing money at this program, even the staff sometimes treat the trainees carelessly. Trainees are given a rigorous curriculum I feel like we've been over this already. But the instruction is cold. I'm sorry, is this place a scientific research facility? Or is this like a school for special kids? I'm not a teacher, I can tell! But I know that I only learned to love science because a physics teacher told me I'd be a good fit for her club. I'm very happy for you. But this is a scientific research facility, ma'am. You're asking for a lot here. She hadn't shown me personal attention, where would I be now? Maybe you should learn to, you know, grasp your own destiny. No amount of punishment could have made me Dr. Destrange. Alright, sure. There's only so much money they can throw into this program to balance out the benefit of getting out of it. One time I watched CO458 and his squadron line up to receive the results of their grammar grids. It wasn't hard for me to guess how well each trainee did. Some shied away from their squad mates, others threw their heads back in relief. But when CO458 arrived at the front of the line, you have to do another makeup because I don't think Deirdre's realized that CO458 458 he's actually kind of rude. He's actually kind of sort of rude. But I started really hard this time. Wow, you didn't start hard enough, did you? Quiz was straight at the time I wrote. See you then. Didn't get away in the way of my crafting time? Wow. Maybe you should have been paying attention in class of doodling. Yeah, it is rude to hold up the rest of your squadron. See? Things doesn't go his way, he threw a little tantrum. And then he gets his squad mates into trouble. He has no consideration for his squad mates. Something rolled their eyes at him. I would have too! Others gave him a bit of glare. Yeah. Given the way the teachers pitted the trainees against CO458, I wasn't surprised they disliked him. He pitted himself against them! If he hadn't talked bad, they wouldn't have gotten into trouble because of him. This is dead weight to their squadron. He is, though. And underperforming troublemaker. Yeah. I feel like I'm supposed to feel sorry for him, but I was the one. Okay. People are gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's so fun. I was a model student. Especially at the age of Pavel is right now. And I was always the ones. I was his squad mates. So I don't feel sorry for him. Like, was class boring? Of course. Did it suck? Yeah. You think I enjoy doing science and math and physics? No. But I did my part so other people wouldn't have to suffer. See, no one helped him, left an indescribable emptiness in my chest. Alright, Deirdre, whatever. Children like him aren't dumb. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying he should at least consider... At least the least he could do is not talk back so his squad mates doesn't get in trouble. If you treat them this well, they'll learn that their performance determines their worth as a person. May sound harsh, Deirdre, but welcome to reality. I've known college students who found that level of responsibility overwhelming, but these trainees at elementary school... What? If this level of responsibility is overwhelming for you as a college student, then you're really gonna have a hard time in the real world. They need coaching to get things through to them. If you're in college and you need coaching, you shouldn't be in college. Frankly, I'm surprised there are more stragglers. Why? Acknowledge the YTDI as a new program and stop as an education organization. Okay, then why are you holding them to a standard of a school? Growing pains are par for the course. Angie's been listening to my criticism. She's not stonewalling me, but she's defensive and practiced at it. Yeah, because this isn't a freaking school. This is a research facility. You're asking a lot. I would understand Deirdre's concern if this is an actual school. A public school providing public education, where the goal is to provide education equally as accessibly as possible to all children. But this is a scientific research institution. You're asking a lot, Deirdre. Maybe CO4058 shouldn't be here. Maybe this program isn't for him. As far as Stop is concerned, he is not... quite frankly, he's not paying his due here. She's always ready to fire off statistics and respond half the trainees were literally before they came here. Now 98% are performing up a matrix. Because you're treating this place like a educational program. Deirdre, please. She's listening to me. But she's not gonna make changes. Because this isn't a school. This is a scientific research facility. Angie says they'll help to save trainees, but she's brushed off their side effects as easily as they were discussing fringe theories in the classroom. Again, this is a scientific research facility, not a school. Whenever she does, I can't help but wonder how those trainees coping with technology grabbed to their bodies. Maybe this program should be more focused on that instead of the education that you keep worrying about. They asked for these enhancements. Don't want my research to be associated with these procedures. I think in the matter of cybernetics, I agree with Deirdre because I don't think children under 18... in fact, I don't think children under 21 is old enough to consent to any procedures done on them. But her complaints about the education program when this is clearly not a school and clearly not the focus. The focus is not to make education accessible to everyone. It's a lot to ask for. Convincing people takes time. Besides, the YTDI has other problems. No kidding. Trainees sleep in a panopticon. No matter where their rooms are, there'll be guards and camera appearing inside. Yes. Deirdre. This isn't charity! Games, books, and shows that have access to are limited in their themes. I've seen more than one trainee tense out whenever I pass by their dorm's window. I'm sure the staff are miserable too. The guards eat their meals while they're on duty. The teachers' curriculums are stringent. It's a wonder the researchers can see their screen when they're blatantly ignoring what's in front of them. Did she forget this is a scientific research facility? If Star wants its own boarding school division or JROTC program, more power to them. This is clearly not a boarding school! But I wish the YTTI wouldn't be so cavalier with cybernetics. Deirdre, are you stupid or are you stupid? This program is clearly tailored towards cybernetic research to children. My God! Overbearing with security measures? Draconian with education. I feel like I understand the point the game is trying to make, but I think their premise makes it hard to, like, agree with the protagonist. It would be different if this facility is simply like an orphanage or a school. But this facility is clearly, very clearly a scientific research facility centered around cybernetics. Like, are these not ethical concerns that we should have? Of course. But in the premise of this facility, I don't know what else you would expect. Like, I feel like if the game was trying to make all of this point, this should have just been an orphanage or a school. Because then a lot more of her points would stand. But like, expecting tailored education in a research facility not even really centered around education is a little weird. Oh yeah, I have to watch another interview with the kid. Interview with CO45A. August 13th, 27X.
Oh,
Oopsie.
Don't play cute with me.
Guess the world will never know the results of our grand Scrattle match, huh?
What match? You're just tracing the lines with your fingers. You lost again. Uh-huh. I was a Scrattle champion. Just learned this rules a couple weeks ago. I think it's a nice touch that they added this as an interview. Except I don't really care for this kid. So it makes this part of the game kind of boring to me. Because this kid reminds me of all the crap I had to go through because my classmates were not... can't even do the bare minimum. You can go toe-to-toe with Shreya now. Have you foolish adults finally reevaluated my reading ability? No. I don't think Shirley knows how to play Scrattle. Yeah, you should teach her. I don't know if I'll have time. Did something happen? Can I tell you a secret? Not really, but sure. My teacher asked me to stay behind in class. I thought he had spotted me drawing again, but he told me I didn't have to study anymore because one of the researchers had talked to him. The thing with visual novels is that they become very difficult to push through when you don't like the characters you're supposed to be emotionally invested in. So, I hope something exciting happens soon. Like an explosion. What did they tell him? They said, I'm gonna go through my first processing. None of us know what it means. Okay. I know that everyone gets processed eventually and that processed trainees graduate. But that when you graduate, you lead the initiative. You must be hiding something. Alright. I wish we had started with this. I don't know what's gonna happen to me. When I think about it at night, I can't sleep. Do you regret doodling class now? Makes me my skin all prickly. You know, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And it's something really strange. None of my squad mates are getting processed with me. Yeah, because they show up and they do the work. We always see other trainees leave for processing groups of 2 or 3 or 4. Never want. It's because it's been determined you're not, you know, worthy of further education. Not stupid, I know why I was picked. Because I doodle in class. Yeah, I hope you regret it now. Because I forget my homework, yeah. So when it's time for group projects, none of my squad mates want to work with me, and I wonder why that is. So whenever I try to talk to someone, they always act so tired. My squad, the other trainees, even my teachers, I know they want me processed. You know? I don't mean to be rude, but everyone is free to act as they please. But there are always consequences to your actions. You can choose to doodle in class. No one's saying that you can't, but there are consequences to doodling in class. I know you're supposed to feel bad for him, but I'm kind of just like, you know, you dig your own grave, now you gotta go lay in it. Sense it even when they don't speak to me. Because they'll hate me. You know what bothers me about storylines like this? Is that immediately you're supposed to feel bad for the person that is supposedly hated upon. But really, are people hated for no reason? You know, people, characters like this, they bother me because to me, you should be reflecting on why nobody likes you. You know, what is about yourself that you can change? Because nobody, if 1 or 2 people don't like you, that's their problem. But if nobody likes you, that's a you issue. Shreya doesn't hate him. I mean, true, but Shreya probably doesn't have many other friends. She doesn't have to be around me when we do class. If she was getting punished because of me, yeah. Deirdre, you like him too? Why? Because he smiled at you? It's not very scientific. You're a talented artist. Your excitement is infectious. You're much smarter than people give you credit for. And I think you're lovely just the way you are. You would make a terrible parent, Deirdre. No, don't ask me something. What? You visit me as soon as my first processing is over? Sure, Deirdre's gonna try. You break your promise? You break my finger? Huh? I will come back for you no matter what. Alright. With a really bad plan. Just like your really bad plan now.
I promise.
I feel like these interviews aren't like the weapon that Deirdre think they are. Because I feel like most of the world thinks like me. In which conformity is valued. Deirdre, did you censor anything from your talks with Tan? From what I can read, she's far from honest. Angie isn't sincere a lot. She's a brilliant scientist and a dear friend. Well. It's okay. Deirdre's like, this program sucks, it's unethical. I don't like how they're doing this. I don't like how they're treating the children. But the person in charge, they're an excellent person. You shouldn't speak badly about them. What? You're a little tired to get her on my side. She's never gonna be on your side. I said she was rigid. I wasn't kidding. I don't think she's ever gonna be on your side. Talking to her made me think. If we rebuild a YTDI from inside out, it could be a net positive for children everywhere. What makes you think the organization wants the YTDI rebuilt? 4 months ago, you were afraid the YTDI will leave you with a foul legacy, that your research of cybernetic sync rates would make you the mother of cyborg children. Now you want to rebuild the YTDI? If they got rid of the cybernetics, I'm confident I'd stop could turn the YTDI into a competent institution. Oh my gosh, she's so stupid. Who's gonna fund this program? Why do you think Stop is funding this program? Competent institutions don't feed kids lab script. This is obviously not a education institution. I'm not gonna burn everything down for a better future. It's not compatible with what you want, Iris. Think Deirdre. Stop is a security organization. It's not a charity! Say it loud, Iris! They offer peace of mind for sale. They do anything to keep their world leaders lining their pockets. What else would they be enhancing children except for their own benefits? Gosh, she's so dumb. They only give cybernetics to physically disabled trainees, and you believe that BS? Tell those trainees ask for them. This argument is unproductive, Iris. You're dumb. Let's say the YTDA was shut down tomorrow like you clearly wanted to be. Where would all those trainees go? Survival of the fittest, Deirdre. Survival of the fittest out there. Listen, I understand what you're wanting. Everybody will love that. In a perfect world, all children will be cared for to the standards that we wish for our own children. But who's gonna pay for that? Who's gonna fund that? Who else with the resources in the world to take them all in? And even if there's another organization like that out there, who do you think's gonna pay for that? There's always a cat somewhere, ma'am. Star didn't make the YTDI with kind intentions. I can tell you that much. Don't be so conspiratorial. Don't be so blind. Your research built the foundation for this program. And speak up. Wow, Deirdre is so stupid. She talks like she's 15. But Dad, sounds like. Anyway, August 29, 27X. This game is going for far longer than it's intended to because I have so much shit talking to do. Because Deirdre is ridiculously dumb for a very smart person. Case study report 8/14/27X. Focus study of CO458 is on hold while the subject undergoes processing. Observation of CO458's former squad continue. In the meantime, little to report. Without CO458's presence, classroom time is quiet and proceeds evenly. Conduct short interviews with trainees in his cohort. Anxiety about future graduations is high. Currently seeking clearance to visit CO458 recovery. Will update after I have an opportunity to do so. Not Deirdre talking about educational programs leading to critical thinking skills when she has none herself. What is in the CD? Interview with SI474. August 20th, 27X. Hello, Sri. Sorry, by the way, about how sudden all of this is.
Okay. I can always do my homework tomorrow morning.
I might not finish before class starts. Your teacher already know about your interview today. They agreed to give you an extension. I didn't know they gave extensions. Only when it benefits them. Why would they give extensions? This isn't a school, Deirdre! My squad was supposed to move at the same pace as each other. A flock of birds. So extension for someone who falls behind is... Get the impression they didn't expect an assignment to deter you. Does that make you feel better? And please introduce yourself.
My name is Trainee S4-174.
Tell me your name the first time we met. Why not now?
I didn't want C0-458 to feel alone.
Okay. What was your life like before you joined the YTT? Yeah, are there no files on this? DJ, like, why are you making these children relive bad times of their lives? It's very far from here. Question 2. Are you getting along with your squadron? Honestly? Feel like I'm trapped inside glass. My squad mates see me. They know I exist, but they don't know how to reach me. It's a lot of big words for a very young child. To be honest, I don't know how to reach them either. You guys are classmates! You're not supposed to be best friends! Probably doesn't help that they are weirded out by my arm. None of my squad mates are missing anything, but that doesn't stop kids and other squads from getting along. Maybe there's something wrong with me? No, you're just introverted. You don't have to be best friends with your squad. Or maybe it's that lady, the one with the messy hair and the dangly earrings. She likes to meet me after class, asking me how I'm doing my homework. Am I have me write or carry things for a few minutes. Sometimes she'll take a roll of measuring tape and wrap it around my arm. If I do well, she'll pat my head and give me candy. Though candy was surprisingly contraband here. I don't mind any of that, but every time Dr. Angie takes me aside, she and my teachers tell my squad mates to follow my example. That's another way to get yourself singled out. Be too good at what you do. Think some of them are jealous of that. Yeah. You're learning an important lesson in life. First place always comes with enemies. I had one of that in high school. She hated everything I did. I was still valedictorian, though. And how do you feel about it? She wasn't. Sick to my stomach. I don't like working. I don't like being in the spotlight. Call me a hard worker, but I'm just trying to escape notice. Trying to avoid arguments. If that's what you want, you gotta do the bare minimum. The other kids. But my squad mates drag me into their messes anyway. They want Dr. Andy's attention. They want to be praised. They want candy. They all want to be someone's favorite. It's better than having to stand against a wall because your teammate brought you down. My class scares me, Dr. Deirdre. These are all just social issues that you have to learn to live with as you grow up. You don't have to talk about them anymore if you don't want to. Learning how to navigate these social issues is a part of life. What do you think of CO458? You like him? He's my best friend. Told me the same thing. That makes me really happy. When I first came to the YTDI, he was my assigned roommate. As soon as I entered my dorm, he marched over and swung his hands up to greet me. If anyone did that to me, I'd be so annoyed. He had his big, goofy grin on his face. I value my personal space. Seen it before. Strangers that act frankly. Back people with fake smiles that are trying to get something from you. And I didn't know what he wanted from me. So for the first few weeks, I tried to avoid him as much as possible. Finding a quiet corner in the library, hiding in the bush in the middle of the courtyard. Thought he'd get tired of it after a couple of days, but somehow he'd always find me anyway, because he doesn't have any other friends!
One day, I couldn't stand it anymore. So I just asked him, why do you keep bugging me? And you know what he told me?
No, but I'm sure it's something very, very cheesy.
You look lonely.
As if he's not lonely himself and he doesn't have anyone else to
I
bother.
want to be your friend. He wasn't hiding anything. He didn't want anything from me. Somehow, I could just tell he was sincere.
You know, someone who's always sincere is not necessarily a good thing, Sri. You're just not old enough to understand that yet. After that, I stuck with CO458 whenever I could, playing games with him, writing stories together. Sometimes we just sit in silence and read books from the library. Because of him, my dorm's the one place I don't feel like I'm walking on eggshells. But what? Video but no audio, there's no need to worry. It won't pick on anything we say. Aren't you recording this? Deirdre, you're recording this! The mic's limited in range, so it only record poor quality sound. I'm worried about CO458. You've been watching over him, right? If you've seen how they treat him in class. Stay a bad student, you get a nasty punishment. One that'll change your life forever. That's what everyone whispers. When I first heard the rumor, I was terrified. I don't want CO458 to. Not after everything he did for me. I tried helping him after school. I taught him how to concentrate in boring classes or fake it. We read through textbooks together. I even wrote him sheets of study notes. But no matter how hard he tried to get better, he kept getting picked on. Even though he was improving, they kept singling him out. It's because he talks back! Then he told me he was getting processed. You know what that means? But after he said it, he didn't want to look at me anymore.
They took him away last week. Without him, everything's so quiet. He's not flipping through comic books, or scribbling on his desk, or rummaging through my box of hairbands. Am I a bad friend for thinking he's being punished right now?
I mean, he's obviously being punished right now. I feel bad for your kid, but he's obviously being punished right now. You know what's happening to him? Knowing CO45A, I'm sure he'll be okay. He's a strong boy. Alright. He's the center of my case study after all. Hope you're right. I think I'll conclude our interview here.
Thank you. I'll be alright. Don't worry about me. Dr. Angie has me covered. Save them for Pavel.
Alright, let's keep going. Let's look at her notebook. Oh, her stupid diary. August 20th, 27X. Where could CO45A have gone? Seriously, DJ, you're a genius? You can't figure this out? It's pretty obvious what's happening here. The security board told me that it would be at least another week before he'd return. Of course, they didn't mention anything about processing. It sounds scientific, but it could mean practically anything. And if it happens to involve cybernetics, there's only so much they can do before puberty. Should be minor. Am I still trying to rationalize this? I don't know. I defer to stopping all excuses by having the proof right in front of me. They want to use my research to modify children. Why? I don't know, and frankly, it doesn't matter. I think it's pretty obvious why. Because money. The YTDI really was serving the greater good. Why have Angie and her co-workers acted so evasive? So secretive. I can't afford to be humble or gracious or cowardly anymore. I know more about cybernetics than every other researcher in their department too together. And yet I allowed myself to be a coward. I acted respectably. I never caused it. What? Do you really think things will change because you caused a scene? Because I cared much more about appeasing stuff than doing the right thing. I can't look away anymore, so they shouldn't be able to either. I'll finish my reports. Thrust it in their face, make them see what they've wrought. And do you think anything will change after you do that? I'll be diplomatic if it means biting my tongue, and I'll write this. Alright, Deirdre. All cybernetics have limitations. If CO45A is being modified, the most they could do is enhance his optic nerves. Still invasive and perverse, but once he's endured the anesthesia and intense PT regimens, it ultimately won't affect his daily life. They wouldn't risk harming a valuable young subject with anything more extreme. Deirdre, you're so dumb! They don't think he has potential! Why do you think he's in processing? Bro. Hopefully the worst will soon be over. CO45A is still alive. Once he's gone through processing, I'll make every effort to place in an environment better suited for child old ages. First, I need to think of an appropriate recovery gift, something I can fit in my lab coat pockets. Oh. He's the smartest dumb person in the game I played. He's in processing. I won't get to see him for at least another week. I thought there would be more time. He's still so small. Is there anything you know about processing, Iris? Please tell me he's only skin deep. By the time the YTTI was found, I was already on the way out. Surely you have something on it, Iris. I know you keep tabs on everything. Not on this. Processing is kept under especially tight wraps of the YTTI. As you've guessed it, is the Stellar latest cybernetic enhancement. Beyond that, you should have done something. With your EQ? Deirdre, I doubt it. I should have used my authority, my expertise to intervene before it's too late. You're a senior supervisor. You can't overrule what the director wants to do. Instead, I just stood by the sidelines. I even raised my voice. I've been critical sometimes, harsh even, but I think this would have gone ahead anyways no matter what you did. Yes. My impression of those people? Definitely. Listen, I was given a polite exit, but your name still carries weight at stop. Your case study is compelling and detailed. I have no doubt that little boy's gonna be more than happy to see you again once he's out up there. You just need to save your strength for the right time. And when that comes, don't take no for an answer. So not too late. Alright. I'm far too jaded for this game. Interview with CO45A. August 29, 27X.
Good afternoon, CO458.
See, you're back from processing.
Deidre? You came.
Yeah, sure did. Been a really long week. Kind of worried you've forgotten. What's this on the floor? It's just a puzzle piece. Shreya was working on finishing while I was gone. When I was wheeled back in, it got trampled on. Shreya wasn't happy about that. Fruit gushies. I want fruit gushies. There's some snacks from outside. I promise they taste nothing like script. You know, Deirdre, I know you mean well. But now you're gonna torture this kid with him not being able to have fruit gushies for like however long time he remains in this facility. So what have you been up to since processing? Just resting? Shri keeps reading me casework, because I don't have to study anymore. No, I've been thinking. You don't have to call me that. You can call me Pavel. I know I'm supposed to find this kid likable, but I really don't. Is having a proper name important to you? It's a big deal for you too? Not just anybody gets to call me by my true name. Alright, good for you. It's like I'm letting you use it. You're ensuring no one else. Alright. You're my inner circle. Alright. Secret identity, alright. Okay. Is this gonna tell me anything new, or is it just gonna be like, look how cute and sad's character is? Have you been outside this room since processing? When I said I was bed earlier, I wasn't exaggerating. Being bedridden it's really starting to bug me. Like I've got a house cold. Sure, whatever. They're the same thing. Whatever you say. What happened during your processing? It's kind of like getting my teeth cleaned. Like one moment I'm laying on this long hard table. They've got this big light over me. It kind of looked like a spider with bunch of eyes and legs. The light was super bright underneath, and I was surrounded by all those doctors in white uniforms and masks. I was told to count down from 60, so I did, but then I fell asleep before I could finish. And then I woke up. Oh, damn. Was there something wrong with your legs? Now they can give me better legs. An upgrade. Once they'll let me run faster and jump higher. Like a real superhero. Really, it's okay if I just practice hard? You're very brave? That's all you gotta say to them cutting off his literal legs, DJ? You really do have zero people skills. Do you know that? You're like a hero. Hide these under your pillow. You're gonna get him into trouble!
Make them count. I'll be back in a week. Promise.
You can't be a part of this. No one should be a part of this. Can't believe it took a whole, 3-ass months for you to figure this out. It's not enough to leave. The fact that anything like this could happen in a modern facility. Maybe it was always naive to think that one case study could fix stop. You think? But if so, what then? What now? September 9th, 27X. Naive to think one case study was stopped. No kidding. Case study report 9327X. I'm absolutely appalled at the Youth Training and Development Initiative's decision to perform major amputation on training CO458. Improvements in synchronization rates are irrelevant. This technology was only ever intended for use in adults, save for rare exceptions. The relatively static state of an adult body allows for easier construction of prosthetics, and only a mentally immature individual can reasonably be expected to endure the inevitable side effects of cybernetic implementation. Let me be clear, rejection symptoms are not a risk, they are an inevitability. For all the advancements in biotech over the past few decades, they have not been enough to stop the body from revolting against artificial neurons when they are stitched to its muscles, or from realizing that the hunk of polyurethanes silicon in its skull is not part of its gray matter. Medication can suppress the body's immune response and stave off seizure, but is a patch, not a long-term solution. Despite these facts, CO458 was approved for the full transfemoral amputation and plant preparation procedures. I cannot conceive of a scenario that justifies the callous removal of 2 completely healthy limbs from a young child. That remains that CO458's quality of life has been significantly impacted for no reason beyond the YTDI's goals. If this is the level to which the YTDI is allowed to conduct itself, then it is clear to me that Sub has become a little better than an organization it once worked to squash. There's no theoretical threat of future crimes that justifies what I've witnessed. This is what my research is now supporting that I would rather have never pursued in the first place. September 3rd, 27X. They took his legs. As if stripping him of his name wasn't enough, they ripped his legs off of his body. Why? You know why. Can't think of any good reasons for this. You know why. The Vel sunlight that he is, okay, say that they plan to give him better ones. Even try to prove it in spite of the pain. And the worst part is, it's not over. He hasn't graduated yet. The last time I tried to visit him, he'd been taken back in for further processing. I had to find out for Shri of all people. The guards barely seemed to care. Asking about his absence was like asking about the garbage being taken out a day earlier. Shocking. Someone else did the worst they didn't need to know. They said all of this while looking at me with that expression they always wore on duty. One of malaise, of superiority, of contempt. Funny how they press the kids to be smiling and obedient while adults look like bored children. When I entered this room, I noticed distinct coldness in the air. Shreya looks awful. Has she been eating properly? She seems so frail. She was taken to the operating table. Now her chance of survival is now none. I have to leave Stop, and the YTDI has to go with me. I don't want any of this to be my legacy. What's an academic supposed to do against the intergovernmental organization with unlimited resources and an ever-growing supply of severed magnetic muscle? I'm not sure, but with your ability to plan and predict and critically think, I don't think you can do much, Deirdre. Maybe I can follow Iris's example, the case report being my indictment of Stop. My voice should still carry enough importance to damn it on my way out the door. Good luck. If I try to make an impact with my exit instead of leaving quietly, what will happen next? If I say anything about those cages the kids were kept in, the court will bury me, and I'll have to hope that Stop doesn't single me out extrajudicially. If they do, I have to kiss my future academic opportunities goodbye. Oh, you're worried about yourself right now? So what? They can't expect to keep quiet after everything I've seen. The one conversation with Angie still makes my blood boil. We're observing a physical education class. The kids were told to run laps to the point of exhaustion, and knowing the YTDI, they probably were forced to run past that point for research purposes. While the teachers were tending to them, Angie leaned over and whispered to me, "Look at how strong they're growing. Healthy and smart and tough as nails. Isn't it incredible?" They should look at the back ranks and sour, but they're still stragglers. Gonna iron out all the kinks eventually. After she said that, she turned back to me. You know, if that squadron were enrolled in public school, some PSHE teacher would be coddling them by now. None of them would ever know how much they could achieve with just a little more pressure, with just one more push from someone who knows how much they can take. This isn't a school, though. Back in school, I knew this kid, born with a hole in their heart, maybe some large ASD. They had it rough, but they persevered. Didn't pity themselves, had pride. But the teacher insisted on coddling them, waiting on them hand and foot, carrying their books, giving them extra exam time, letting them skip the dead. The adult around them let their condition define their lives. By the time we graduated, I practically recognized them. Ended up more ghost than person. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't let them fail themselves like that. She think we're still friends? I've been seeing to her less and less. God, you're so bad at this, Deirdre! Of course you pretend you're still friends! How else are you supposed to get juicy tea? How else are you supposed to get info for your indictment? By now she's basically talking to herself, and I hate seeing her inner ugliness rear its head. This is when you become friends even more to get info. As soon as Pavel's healthy enough to graduate, I'll make my move, but I'm not leaving Stop without him. Good luck with that. Got my 2 weeks notice line up with Pavel's estimated graduation. The moment he's out of the system, I'm taking him and leaving. Smartest thing you've said in a while. Do you have any concerns? It's possible that they won't let him graduate. Promises for service rendered don't mean much to people who mutilate children. And if my case study is half as explosive I'm hoping it to be, it's not the kind of thing that Stop will let circulate for long. There are plenty of people out there willing to listen to you. Not after I slandered an internationally beloved crime fighting organization. No! No, Deirdre, that's what your words will mean even more! If it's coming from someone who was so against their belief, your words will mean even more. You don't have friends and PR or allies in the media. That's the best part! It'd be easy to paint me as another disgruntled former employee disappointed with the lack of direction in her career and looking for a book deal. Wish I could tell you that won't happen. Of course it's gonna happen. But even things do go to shit on your end, allow me to give you a silver lining. When Pavel gets out and you can bring him here. Once upon a time it was a garage. Then it was an unrealized research lab with some living quarters. Now it's yours. It's no 5-star hotel, but it's not too bad this time of year. There's even a river nearby. I already owe you so much. I don't want to hear any complaints about being crammed down the line. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. September 9th, 27X.
Whoa, D.
What's up, Angie?
There's a fire drill going on?
Looking for Pavel, I can't find him anywhere. CO458. It's okay, I'm certain he's around somewhere. It's very safe here. It's not like he could just wander off. Of course not. I'm not convinced that any of this is necessary. DJ! God, you're so bad at this! Talking about processing? For starters. Gosh, she's so stupid! You gotta keep you on cover until you can get him out! D, post-op is never gonna look pretty. You know that. You've seen it thousands of times. Soldiers, volunteers, adults. And see the places we pull these kids out of. Filthy, overcrowded, underfunded. But you think you can change her mind? Thank you for agreeing with me, Muto. Or I assume that you're agreeing with me, I can't tell. Oh my god, DJ! At least pretend to agree with her. You're gonna blow your cover! How are you gonna get a kid out now? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Filthy, overcrowded, underfunded. This facility is very clean and very well funded. That doesn't make it right. You think she's gonna change her mind? You think she's gonna change her mind? DJ, you can't expect everyone to live to the same ethical line as you do. Also, let me let you on a little secret, Deirdre. Okay? It's a person who has to deal with many conflicting situations such as this. When you contradict somebody, their first reaction is always defensive. And the more you come at them hard, the more defenses they're gonna get. So if you're just gonna be like, Angie, I think what you're doing is wrong, you're never gonna get her to agree with you. Yeah, see, now she's defensive! Good going! We've been nothing but transparent with you from the beginning. We've given you complete access to our building, our resources, even our subjects. I had to fight for you, you know. And why was I notified about Pavel's processing? Because it's none of your business, frankly. Maybe you were on the right mailing list. There are no conspiracies here, D. You of all people had to have known exactly what the initiative's goal is. Look, I'm not in the mood to argue medical ethics with you in the goddamn hallway. CO458 is in recovery. He's fine. Great job, Deirdre! Now she knows! You're gonna have even a harder time getting Pavel out of here now!
This isn't some back alley surgeon for hire operation. We know what we're doing. Do you?
Good job! Now she's against you! Great job, Deirdre! God. How are you so dumb for someone so intelligent, supposedly? Hello, Rachel. What's up? I'm so mad at the pro tech in this game right now. Hope you're having a better day than I am.
Uncle? Are you?
Like, I feel really bad for the kid. I do.
Dr. Deidre?
Stay right there, okay? Deidre may be kind of stupid sometimes, but she means well. Sorry about it. Dizzy a bit, couldn't sleep much today, and got uni, of course. I'm sure you will wake right up when you get into class. Is anybody being here to take care of you? But get some sleep tonight, okay? Sleep is quintessential to recovery. Well, I think so. Sure, it's been here at night a few times. Hasn't said much though. Pretend to be asleep because I think she might be scared of me now. She's probably worried about you. I'll go and talk to her. I really don't want to upset her. I have to worry about upsetting anyone. You haven't done anything wrong. How are you feeling? Great question to ask. The kid's like out of it. How are you feeling? You don't know. Tired and weird. It's alright. I'm scared as you should be. My graduation is soon and I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. What else they'll do to me. Close your eyes for me, okay? He's asleep. I might take a nap when I return. Good idea. Good idea. They're going to tear him apart. Rearrange him again and again, and not just him, and all the other trainees here, all the other children yet to come. Over and over and over, and for what? This is my fault. My research laid the foundation for this. My reputation funded this. I let this happen. I did this. I wouldn't go that far. Main character syndrome much. There has to be something I can do. I have to do something. Something more than writing words on a goddamn page. That's it. I'll break him out. Prevent him from graduating and burn this program down to the ground as we leave. Just this program? You think they can't just start a new one? At this point, this isn't even a call for justice. It's just plain cause and effect. She means well. She's not very good at this. September 16, 27X. Case study report 9927X. Met with CO458 today. Engaged in normal conversation and activities with the subject. CO458 became tired shortly into the session, so the visit was cut short after about an hour. CO458's temperature and blood pressure appeared to be higher than normal levels during the visit, recommending the increase in immunosuppressant dosage. Recovery otherwise appears to be on pace with expected timeline. Okay, let's read her diary. September 9, 27X. I'm going to destroy my life's work. I have to update the textbooks. A small footnote at the bottom of the page or in the back of the index. Dr. Deidre Destrange went on to commit multiple terrorist acts. We in no way, shape, or form approve of her blah blah blah. Fine by me as long as they leave my name in it. Curious kid might search for that crazy lady's name on the internet. Find a case report written by her and give it a read. Better a pariah who speaks the truth than a diligent researcher who can't stand to look at it. Or they remove your name altogether. As I walk through the YTTI's halls, my stomach drops when I pass the spots I rig. Though the guards just stand around and glower at the kids, they're still combat-ready professionals. More than a match for little old me. If they ever catch on to my plans, they could drop me before I even enter the building. Funny. I haven't feared others being able to hear my thoughts since I was in college. I remember feeling guilty when I learned about thermal runaway and lithium-ion batteries. When I realized how easily this knowledge could be reapplied, I was convinced that there was something wrong with me. Maybe I was right back then. Compared to my usual work, making bombs is dead simple. I spent most of my time planning how to space out the fertilizer purchases. Looking back on it, smuggling Pavel's snack made for a fine trial run. I have surefire proof that the guards won't check me. So why am I still so anxious? It's not my legacy, and it's not the process itself. Am I afraid of what happened to Pavel after all this? I can house him thanks to Iris. I have money. I can cook. There's so much I don't know about him. How will I care for his medical needs? How will I educate him? Will freeing him doom him to a life in hiding? And Shreya, and the other children, and every other poor soul that's been victimized by this program, where will they go once I'm gone? Even if I could house them all, they wouldn't be free to leave, not with stop on their tail. I'd have just moved them from a spacious cell to a cramped one next to a river. Still, I never forgive myself if I left Pavel behind. My research led to him getting hurt. I won't let that happen again. I've done all the planning I can. For now, I think a eulogy to a life of service is in order. To my colleagues, the good ones, I hope you're working from home. To the rest, you've got no right to complain about what comes next. And to stop, this is war. Plant anyone sees and I'll salt the earth. I'm not necessarily saying anger is a bad thing, but I think she's a little too emotional right now. Can't plan well when when your adrenaline is coursing through you. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I just want to get Pavel out. Aren't you doing precisely that? There's a growing list of asterisks. I can't say the other children, the numbers just don't work. How does that make you feel? Like garbage? Where would they go? They know nothing about the real world. Deirdre. Can't save them all. Welcome to the real world. Kids are tougher than you think. Not tougher than stop. Be surprised, they'll adapt. That doesn't make me feel any better. I doubt anything could right now. I wanted all this. The recognition, the respect, the budgets, the pay. Before I came to Stop, I took 5 internships in one summer. Barely got my foot out the door before I added them to my CV and never looked back. We'll do that. That's the game we play. I like playing that game. I was good at it. There's a sizable cowardly portion of me that doesn't want to give that up. Do you worry about Dr. 10 and the rest? Despite myself, yes. That's just the kind of person you are. In case we don't get the chance to reconnect for a while, let me say this. Every system falls apart eventually. It's entropy. Forest fires are natural and healthy. Stop is no exception. People are horrified by your findings and your methods. That's for the best. They'll quit. They'll leave in droves. You have gotten them out of a dark hole. If you hurt people, that's just a consequences of your actions that you're gonna have to live with, Deirdre. So have to make up for it. And the kids, they'll be strong. Even if their new lives aren't cushy and clean. There'll be lives that they choose for themselves. You're not a god, Deirdre. You can't fix everything. You do the best that you can. And you accept the consequences of your actions. That's not reassuring. What do you want Iris to say? That you're a hero, but you're not. Very little is right now. You have a lot to answer for, D. You're already a history maker. From here on, I'm sure you'll be making history in a good way. Try to remember that when you eat breakfast with Pavel. Is this goodbye? Has to be. But you'll be in my home, I'll be there in some way. In fact, the sheets might still smell like me. You don't need me anymore. You'll do good. You always have. Take care now. You're always my star pupil, Deirdre. I trust you remember me as your mentor and friend. Hopefully when you're retired and peacefully birdwatching. Heavy conversation here? Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to save people. But there is no perfect solution. You'll always leave someone behind. That's just how the world works. Anyway, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. September 9, 27X.
Hello, Pavel.
Oh, good afternoon, Dr. Daedra.
Feeling alright? Take a lot more than this. Alright. Can be honest. Did you graduate training not go well? It was scary. Scary and confusing. Just tell me what happened. What the training was like. Be running tests on the chip they put in my head. When it turns on, it's like my brain squeezed into a box or a minecart. Can only go to the tracks. You know, I'm not gonna lie, some part of this prequel kind of sort of, I don't want to say contradict, but it kind of sort of contradicts the stories that we learned in the previous game. It's all these stupid reflex exercises. After that, they made me solve math problems and other dumb stuff. And while they look at me over their clipboards and data pads, so far I've been doing good. I was doing everything they wanted even when it felt weird. Felt like somebody was looking over my shoulder. Only that shoulder wasn't there, that somebody was me. And somebody else was moving my body, speaking for me. Just couldn't take it anymore. I did something bad. I was upset. I couldn't help it. I think he's having a seizure. I'm going to call emergency services right now. It's on his side, it's nothing in his way, and I've set a timer for 5 minutes. I've done everything I can, but why isn't the emergency call button working? It worked for another trainee, I've seen it before. The maintenance team always checks it.
Pavel? It's okay, Pavel. It's okay.
Why? Why did they do this to me? Why? It hurts. They want to hurt me. They want to punish me, don't they? Because I'm broken. That's why they want to fix me to be like the other kids. I can't stay in line and I never will. They're gonna keep taking me apart until I break. Taking me apart piece by piece like this forever.
Gonna make yourself sick, kid.
But
I feel bad for the kid, I really do. I really do. But I told you guys I'm way too jaded for this game. It's over now. I'm make sure they won't hurt you anymore. I'm waiting for the place to go boom, in case anyone's wondering. I give Pavel a glass of water to sip. His hands are shaking, so I hold the water for him. After I help him into bed. Tuck him in and wish him goodnight. Stroke the little amount of hair left on his head. Then I close the door behind me and walk out of the room. The door behind me clicks shut. I don't have the words to describe what I just witnessed, but I don't need a 10-page paper to sum up what I feel. Disgust. They took away his medication. And was that justifiable as punishment? He could have died. Pavel gets hammered down because he sticks out, but any kid would do the same. He's suffering like this, there's no doubt other trainees are. I need to talk to Angie. Again! God, Deirdre never learns! Can't believe she overlooked this for so long. Deirdre never learns! Before I leave for good, he look into her eye and try to make her see. Okay? Deirdre never learns from her mistakes. You think the assistant director doesn't know what's going on? I find Angie at the bridge gazing at the courtyard below. She looks just like she did the first day I came here. She hasn't changed at all. As I approach, she turns to give me an unreadable look. For a moment, I barely recognize her. For a moment, part of me wants to believe she's someone else entirely.
You're here to talk about C0458.
God, Deirdre never learns a lesson. What do you mean? It's the 21st century, Deep. Got cameras in every room. Yeah, you think she didn't know? God, you're for someone incredibly intelligent, you are incredibly dumb. I suddenly remember Shreya, her gazing up the corner of the room, her dark eyes wide with fear. You're watching the whole time. Of course she was! My God. You think the assistant director wouldn't know what's going on? Seriously? She blinks. So you saw High call for help? You saw him going to seizure because he wasn't given his medication? We don't know that. A lot of the trainees hate taking it. Those are your precious test subjects. Invaluable troves of medical data. If you wanted to, you could get a doctor to any room in this building in seconds. What are you suggesting? It's not a suggestion. You're punishing for what happened during his graduate training. Oh my God, Deirdre, you're so bad at this! This comes later! Now you've shown all of your cards! Oh my God. Angie's always going to be able to justify what she did. A long silence. The tension in the air twists my stomach in knots. She's choosing her next words very carefully, tasting them in her mouth, rolling around like a boiled sweet. Nostalgia lasts me for a moment and won't pull at the back of my head. She used to do this before her research presentations, worrying the inside of her cheek as she waited my feedback. Maybe you're right. But does it matter, D? Does what happened to CO458 matter that much? Once he passes graduate training, he's got a stable career set out ahead of him. He won't want food, housing, or guidance. The visuality.
What are you, a teenager? Everyone's gotta grow up sometime.
I bite down my tongue. As much as I want to, cursing her won't get me anywhere. Can't believe you showed your hands, Deirdre, this early.
What's happening isn't complicated, Dee. You've gotten too attached to your subject of research. You've lost sight of your objectivity. That's all. Happens to the best of us sometimes. Even you.
She turned back to look at me, but she isn't seeing me. She's done talking. The feeling's mutual. This is so fun to watch two walls stare at each other and talk about things that's never going to get resolved. Now she knows. Early in the day, I'd printed out my case study. I had intended to go through it with a red pen. That night, I fed it to the shredder page by page. Months of work gone in moments. It was the best I felt in ages. Wait, you shredded the study? You should have sent it to a news outlet! What, because it made you feel better? October 1st, 27X. Unbelievable. In a matter of minutes, I'm going to burn down my entire career, and bad at it, and badly too, but I'm bad, but not in a good way. You're gonna burn down your career in the most unproductive way possible. Maybe it's fitting that the planning remind me of how I designed my first cybernetic hand, linking each step to the next like titanium phalanges. You're a lot of things, Deirdre. But good planning is not one of them. While I filed documents and studied the blind spots in the security, I learned where patrols didn't visit as often, where security cameras didn't cover the whole room. I participated in fire drills to search for evacuation routes so that I could avoid them. Why are there so many fire drills? Fighting back against the YTDI's electronic security was almost easier. Stopping rebels and terrorists back in Stop's heyday had given me a healthy perspective on tech security. You didn't upload a virus into the entire system? Into the uplink? No? God. DNA signatures like the ones attached to our keycards could be spoofed. An electric lock was useless once you cut its power. As I went through every step, I expected someone to stop me. A guard would catch me leaving packages in a dark corner, or a lab tech would find the files I was taking out suspicious. But no one noticed, because no one cares. Even when I slipped into the security room to inject a virus in the assistant, I told List I was doing an inspection. Only the security room?! They looked the other way. Maybe they lived hard hand-to-mouth lives. Maybe they hated the YTD as much as I do and wanted to see it burn to the ground. Whatever the truth is, I'm not interested in psychoanalyzing lower-level staff. I have one job and I intend to see it through. My God. Getting to Pavel would be simple. I'll enter his room through the small door in the back. No one will suspect me. They'll think I'm conducting another checkup. There's another inane interview to pad out my case study. The one you shredded when you could have taken it for evidence? Escaping will be a much more complicated task. Security cameras are disabled. The safety alarms rewired, and the escape routes plotted. Things go pear-shaped. There's the pyrotechnics I set up ahead of time. But once I trigger the sirens, I can't predict who or what will get in the way. My heart's pounding feverishly. My brain swirling with phases and countermeasures and backups. Painfully aware of every step and every breath I take. This is a lot of writing for someone who... You know what? I won't even go there. I won't even go there. You uploaded a virus to security, but you didn't bother uploading into the entire server to wipe it out. Okay. Okay. Because once I open the dorm room door, there's no going back. Still have a way out. I can leave this behind and go back to my old life. Cut ties with Stop quickly. Retire quietly to a bucolic existence with honors and accolades to my name. Bury my regret and rage in the back of a well-tended flower bed. But if I don't open this door, Pavel will continue suffering. He might not survive graduation. Even if he does, he'll become a nameless drone, a shell of a person marching through life, armed with clockwork thoughts and a plastic smile. Can't abandon him, not to that. I'm gonna come closer. Is he still there? He's still there. He's not on the bed, though. Listen to me very carefully. I want to give you something. I know this is very symbolic.
Pavel, do you want control?
I know this is supposed to be symbolic. But this is a very bad decision, Deirdre. Control over what? Your future. Never really thought about my future. Would you like to? You can take your time. I understand that I'm asking. Yeah.
I do, Dr. Deidre. I want control.
And take this switch and press the button. Okay. I get that this is supposed to be symbolic. I get it. But if your plan is really as, you know, as, she made it sound like her plan needs absolute precision, and then she does this. As soon as you do, you'll be free.
Let's go.
I take Pavel by the hand and gently guide him out of bed. As his legs clack against the tiles, he wobbles. But a lot of ground to cover and every second's crucial. If he's in pain, okay. It clearly takes him some effort, but he grins up at me. What better way to get used to these legs again than a prison break? Despite everything, I chuckle. In between the pulses of the siren, I can hear the hurried footsteps of staff and trainees rushing down the hallway. I take his hand and we walk through the door I came through. Neither of us look back. The back hall of the dormitory is empty. The alarm lights in the wall blinks an angry red as confused personnel jog past us on their way to the emergency stairwell. We walk at first. I try to keep my hammering heart under my control as we round the hallway. We're still too visible. I can't help but imagine a security officer behind every door we pass. I squeeze Pavel's hand tighter and he squeezes it back. His steps are shaky. They shouldn't be. The idiots in processing couldn't even be bothered to collaborate the motors right. But he's stable. And in spite of everything he's been through, he's keeping pace with me. Then I see it, an imposing door with a small blinking key reader beside it, and exit out of the dormitories. Past it, there lay the operating facilities and engineering. Beyond that, the shipping and receiving bay, and further still, the garage door, our way out. Normally, this part of the facility would be swarming with initiative personnel. With the alarms I triggered, all of them should have evacuated to the opposite side of the building. I don't even swipe my card, the latch clicks open when I push it. Suddenly, my steps are faster, my heart beat louder. Before I know it, I'm running. Pavel trips on the first step, but we nearly crash into each other before he corrects himself. But we run hand in hand past the operating rooms and the offices and the open security shutters until, without warning, Pavel's legs buckle. They crumble under him like wet paper, sending him sprawling. I fall to my knees behind him and struggle to pull him upright. Can't answer him. My eyes go to his legs. The lights are still on. The battery has run out. But they're not responding to him. I can see him trying to move what's left of his leg, and the cybernetics just won't react. My eyes fall on the stop logo at his ankle. I look up at the shuttle we just passed, and the security camera blinking on beside it. Oh my god. Deirdre, you're so dull. I almost want to laugh as my mounting panic threatens to overtake me. Anti-threat measures. You didn't think about this? You can upload a virus and you didn't think to get the schematics? Oh my god. I don't want anyone taking Stop Party outside, but I'm no kidding! I can hear yelling echoing back down the hallway. Came through distance but growing louder. They know where we are. Sit still. Quickly, I move to detach his legs. I leave them on the ground, sweeping him up into my arms and bulk. He clings to me, his fingernails digging into my back through my clothes. His left arm dangles out of my grasp. Far lighter than he should be. God, what if there's a GPS inside him? As I run to the exit, I squeeze him as close to me as I can. Security shutter suddenly slams shut in front of me. I turn to pivot. The more come down over every door in the hallway, falling into place heavy as tombstone. God. I I bite back a scream and try to focus on facts. Security's at my back. I can hear them getting closer. Combat boots on tile, heavy and hurried. With every second I sit there, panicked and paralyzed, they stump closer to us. I squeeze my eyes shut. I can feel cold steel gun barrels in my back. Cuffs. Bindings. Straitjackets. Pavel ripped away from my arms. Disposed of as defective goods or reprogrammed to an ideal product. I can't bear that thought. I reach into my lab coat, pull out a second switch, and press it. The explosion ripped through the hole with a force unlike anything I've ever felt before. Wait, you waited until now to make things go boom? Okay. I tear through the shutters, blasting me with heat and smoke and debris that nicks my neck, my cheek. Okay. I thought she already made things go boom. I run right into it as more and more explosions go off through the facility. My hidden bombs going off like exothermatic dominoes. A burst of red and blinding heat sears my right side, probably scattering shrapnel. I push through the pain, running as fast as I can. My ears ring, my muscles scream, my throat stings. All that there is heat and ash and pain. Until finally... we reach the light. Alright. They escaped. Wait, you didn't have transportation ready? You didn't have transportation ready? Can't we have actually made it? She didn't have a getaway vehicle ready. But Val, I think, or what? Does he make it? Lost his arm.
Pavel, please. Speak to me.
Blue.
What?
The sky. It's so... blue.
Hook. I don't mean to be rude. God. This is so overdone. Why is it that every time you have like a situation where a character is cooped up inside for a long time, you bring them out, and it's always the sky is so blue? Why? I haven't seen it in so long.
You're hurting. Please don't push yourself. You're already bleeding so much.
But I'll live. 'Cause I'm no longer there. I'm free now, aren't I?
Yes. Yes. You are.
Always the sky is blue. But why is the sky blue? Alright, we made it to the end of the game. We made it to the end of the game. Gosh, full visual novels is so hard for me. Full visual novels are so hard for me. Hey. Oops, I accidentally pressed something. Wait, I wanted to watch the credits. Oops. I don't know what I did. don't know what I did. Alright, here we go. Here are the credits. Hi. I don't necessarily think this was a bad game. I just think, I understand what message they're trying to give. Try to share. I think, the parts where I want to say take issues with is I think the focus on the educational piece kind of sort of detracted from the immersion of the game, because fundamentally you know that they're not at a school. So when they tried to fit in that piece about special needs education, it kind of sort of felt out of place. Bonus content unlocked. I don't know what the bonus content is. I'm assuming it's probably like art and stuff. Okay. But yeah, I think... I feel like if they strictly focus on the ethics of cybernetics, the game would have felt a little bit more cohesive. And, it wouldn't felt as like it was trying to cover too much. Because when they started bringing up the special needs occasions, the special needs education stuff, I was like, okay, I get that. I'm not disputing that that's important, but this isn't a school. That doesn't really have a place here. So that was a little bit hard. I feel like if they focused more on the ethics of cybernetics, it would have been... the story would have been better flow. But honestly, Deirdre was so... I can't! She was... I get it. It's for story purposes, but God. She was not... She's not, for someone so intelligent, she's not very smart. But overall, the game is free. The voice acting's great. Voice acting's really good. I think that's one of the strongest selling point of the game, is that the voice acting is good. I'm a little too jaded for this type of story. I think part of being older is you don't see the world as black and white as you do when you're younger. You understand gray areas. And I think this game was a little too black and white. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But, from my perspective, while I agree with some points the game was trying to make, I think, as you grow older, as you become more aware of how society, social standing works and can be manipulated. There's some things in this game that makes me very much feel like whoever wrote this is probably, they're a little bit more idealistic than I would ever be. But yeah, that is protoViolence, which is the prequel to Malviolence, which we played last week. This game is... Oh, this is also free on Steam and itch.io if you want to play it yourself and enjoy it without me commenting on every single character. But yeah. We'll be back on Wednesday with more Ori and the Will of the Wisps, where I fail again at platforming. Good game, Muto. Thank you. I did my best. We didn't really do a lot of playing. It was mostly me being critical, as I usually do. But yeah, that is it for today. Thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate you all. Have a great day or a great night wherever you are. Stay chill, stay safe, stay cool. And I will see you guys in my next stream. Good night, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.